Welcome everyone, and thank you very much for joining me here on IPO Market Watch. My name is Mike, and if you are new to this channel, hit the subscribe button if you're interested in videos that are about stock buy ideas, new investment ideas, keeping up with the latest news, trends, and a lot more. Everyone, in this video, I'm going to talk about a company that I did a YouTube video for 1 month ago. I said in that was over a month ago. I said in that video that it would be the biggest turnaround in history, that I consider it a buy. So I gave it, personally speaking, for me, a buy rating, that it would be worth the investment. And within 1 to 3 years, there's going to be big changes and it would reward the shareholders, right? That was 1 month ago. Within the past 24 hours right now, I'm beginning to be proven more than right, as the news that have come out for this stock are insane. They're big. They're just like, you can't even fit them in your, like, it's unbelievable. And we'll talk about the FTC, all the obstacles that are ahead, and how I think they will all be overcome. Now, before I reveal to you what stock I'm talking about, in case you didn't follow this YouTube channel, or if you did, you don't remember what the video was 1 month ago, let's first look at some other stocks that you might be interested in. Lyft, guys. Now, I know some of you might be Uber fans, but Lyft does exist and it does have a large customer base. So on September 13, 2024, over on my Discord, which you can join us if you want, the link will be in the comment section below, I said to the members that I will buy Lyft at $11.35. The stock right now trades at $12.50, so we are up, we're doing awesome. And why did I buy it then at $11.35? Because it was simply undervalued, and there's a big turnaround going on in the company, which I believe in, based on the goals that they have set and the strategy.
Now, who am I introducing next? Who's next?
Also, on August 30th, guys, 2024, I gave a poll. This is very interesting. I want to show this to you guys. I did a poll on the Discord. It was just for a few hours, so I didn't get a lot of people to vote. And it was the first one I did, so a lot of people didn't even know I posted a poll for them to vote on, but that's okay. And I said, which will give the best return within the next 6 months? 39% voted for Rocket Lab, 5% for ULCC, 43% for LUNR, and 12% for Oxy. LUNR is up 115% since that poll went live on my Discord. Did you know that back in the 1990s, the US exported 40% of the world's semiconductors? 40%, let me repeat this, the world's semiconductors were made in the US, made on US soil, being exported to the world, and so on.
Intel was once the largest semiconductor company in the world. It is no longer.
Intel was leading the way, and then everything just went wrong. Fast forward today, and Taiwan Semiconductors is the one who produces 60% of the world's semiconductors. But it's Intel that I'm going to talk about, and yes, it is Intel, the one that's going to have the biggest turnaround in history, in my personal opinion. And this is the thumbnail I had made over 1 month ago, saying big gains coming soon. I repeat, that was 1 month ago. Here is the video, and here it is 1 month ago, as you can see. And the title said, "This stock, biggest turnaround in history." At that time, I had no idea that, a month later, we will get amazing news like Amazon picking Intel to be the company that will build Amazon's AI chips instead of Taiwan. They could have went with Taiwan Semiconductors, but they didn't. They chose Intel. That was like, last week that announcement came out. The last 24 hours, we got even more significant news.
That report from the Wall Street Journal that Qualcomm has approached Intel about a possible deal.
Yeah, I would say that it's all according to a Wall Street Journal report that's quite thin on detail, simply that Qualcomm made an approach to Intel in recent days. They cite people familiar with the matter without naming them.
Intel shares getting a pop on a report that chip giant Qualcomm approached its rival about a takeover, perhaps in recent days.
It's really interesting and really exciting. This would be the biggest deal in the history of the semiconductor industry ever.
Intel stock gains in pre-market today, trading following reports of Qualcomm and Apollo's investment offer. Qualcomm wants to buy out Intel entirely, and Apollo Investment wants to invest billions of dollars in Intel. Both of these news are really amazing and stunning. As far as the Qualcomm news, as a shareholder of Intel, I welcome this, and I wouldn't mind if Qualcomm bought Intel. But of course, there is the Federal Trade Commission, which has been notorious under the Biden administration for just blocking anything.
We certainly have got a very strong antitrust regime right now in Washington. And
I mean, the FTC chair that they put, which they claimed the Biden administration, we're so proud because it's part of the diverse equity inclusion. And she's an Indian, British lawmaker, and she's the youngest person to be in charge of the FTC. Yeah, okay, cool. But yeah, the youngest person to be in charge of the FTC basically hasn't done anything. All she has done was just block pretty much every merger or acquisition possible the past 3.5 years. And I get it that monopoly is not great for US citizens. It is not great for the consumer, as prices will go up. Let's pretend that Qualcomm is very serious, which they are, and they want to buy out Intel and you block it. I think that's strategically stupid.
But we really need a strong chip industry in this country to fight against the risk of the concentration we have in Taiwan.
You're pretty much letting Taiwan Semiconductors to continue to be the dominant player, a company outside of the US. So going to the Apollo investment, which is actually cool, because the Qualcomm, we know it, we get it, we're excited, it's awesome, but we don't know what's going to happen yet. This is a story that has to, unwind itself, and we have to see what the Federal Trade Commission is going to do. So we can't really talk much about it anymore, although it is the most exciting thing in the world right now. But we can talk about the Apollo offer.
Manuel, how big a vote of confidence is this then, potentially, in terms of Intel's turnaround strategy?
Definitely a very big boost for Intel, Tom. Indeed, a big deal. We at Bloomberg had the scoop, and definitely a big vote in confidence in that turnaround plan for Intel.
The Apollo offer doesn't, Apollo management is not offering to buy out Intel, but they're offering multi-billion-dollar investment in Intel. How much so? Well, they just offered $5 billion. $5 billion bucks. They basically went to Intel and said that we're going to give you $5 billion bucks. We want to invest in you because we believe in your turnaround. But it's actually not so new, right? Some people think that this is brand new, and the Apollo management right now is for the first time interested in Intel. Back on June 5th, 2024, there was actually news about Apollo and Intel stake, about Intel scores $11 billion investment from Apollo. They've invested in Intel in the past, and they're continuing to invest in Intel. The good part in all of this is that they believe in Intel's turnaround, and so do I. This is a company that's way too big to fail. Strategically, it would make zero sense to let it fail at all. Like, it just doesn't make sense for the US. And the worst case scenario that could happen, that I see, the worst case scenario, would be for Intel to just be bought out. It can't just stop existing. Shareholders, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I'm not, this isn't financial advice. You shouldn't take this as financial advice. I think that you should, let me just say this, seek professional financial advice when you want to invest in anything. Don't go by my videos. But my personal opinion is that Intel shareholders can't lose. Like, if right now Intel is undervalued. It's undervalued in my opinion. Yeah, sure, it's losing money the past, quarter, the last $2 billion. But it is undervalued, and it's too big to fail, and it's too important to fail. To conclude, I think that Intel is still an amazing investment. I'm very happy that I am in Intel. I believe in the long-term future. Even if Qualcomm doesn't buy them out and Intel just keeps going forward on their own with a plan that they have to turn around, they will, in my opinion. They will succeed. Apollo management is still pumping in billions of dollars in believing in Intel. And yeah, sometimes, to turn around a company that, as big as Intel isn't something that can be done overnight. It will take a long time. Let me know in the comment section below if you believe in Intel, and what do you think about the news that broke out concerning Qualcomm? Do you want Qualcomm to buy out Intel? Join us on Discord if you want. The link will be in the comment section below. Subscribe to this YouTube channel because the next videos are going to be about brand new stocks you've never heard of that are undervalued, and I believe they will go up. Have a good day, everyone.